I'm just going to share a little bit because I think it's so valuable that we understand the steps that have happened. We started 40 Days of Hope on a street called 2nd Street in El Cajon. Michael Griffiths actually started it. It was 5 years ago on a street that had serial inebriants. They had homelessness. Businesses were suffering. And the mayor of El Cajon came to Michael Griffiths and said, hey, we've done all that we can do in the city and with the government. Can we get the church to come together and unite for 2nd Street and pray for 2nd Street? And that year we had 25 churches that walked up and down 2nd Street. They prayed. We saw salvations. We saw homeless people impacted. Some of you were there. And we saw businesses that were blessed. And at the end of those 40 days, people were saying, well, what's next? And we didn't have an agenda. We didn't have a plan. We actually literally laid down our agendas and our plans and said, Lord, only what you blow on, only what you want, that's what we're going to do. And then a couple of years later, the Lord led us to do 40 Days of Hope for East County, where we would worship together, we would fast together for 40 days. We had 40 days of prayer meetings, 40 days of worship and connecting. And then the next year we're like, could we do this for San Diego? And we did, and it worked. And we had 60 or 70 churches. And what we're noticing is that we don't even know how to calculate who's involved, because it has this ripple effect to the point where we're not actually, it's 3rd or 4th generation, we're not connecting. And last year we were in this room. This is the boiler room. This is the prayer altar. We call this what do we call this room? The war room, where God gives us words. And many of the pastors here, we come in here, and we're actually doing it right now. Noonday prayer, Monday through Friday. We're praying together. God's giving us words. But last year the Lord said, you shall no longer, for California, you shall no longer be called California, but Beulah, for the Lord delights in you. That the Lord was beginning, that was His word, and the Lord was saying, I have a new narrative for California. It's not the narrative of the enemy, it's the narrative of God. And out of that, the Lord began to speak to us about 40 Days of Hope for California. And this is our first year, but God has been giving us such great favor, not only here in San Diego, but all throughout the state. We're in Santa Maria. A strong presence of many pastors and churches are rallying together in Santa Maria, Santa Clarita, Anaheim. Others are actually letting us know what cities they're in. We're in Salinas and Monterey. We're in the Bay Area. We're in Fort Bragg, Eureka, Weaverville, and some in Sacramento, some in Bakersfield, and Modesto. And we have 4,400 people on Facebook that are watching. I don't know if they're all watching this, but they're connected to us, and they're from all over California. So it's more cities and areas than we actually know about. People contact me, and I have to ask them, "Oh, what city are you from?" And so there's something happening that is so exciting, and it's about unity. And we've been talking about this for years, and many of you have been on board, and you've been helping us to cut rock. Sometimes we're so fixed in the way we do church and ministry, we don't realize that the default is isolation. The default outcome of just doing your ministry is isolation, and the Lord is beginning to open our eyes. And He's beginning to help us to see that we're better together, that Psalm 133 is true. It's true that how good and pleasant it is when we as the body of Christ, as brothers, harmonize together, because that's where God commands the blessings. We line up with God's standard, and He says, I want to bless that. I love what that looks like. That looks like me, and I want to bless it, and I want to fill it. And then we begin to understand the heart of God, that California belongs to Jesus. It's always belonged to Jesus. That He's paid the full purchase price for this state, and that as believers, all we're called to do is apply what He's already done. He's already victorious. He's already the conqueror. We just steward and apply what He's already done. And the Lord's speaking to us about who is the best leader but the sons and daughters of God. The Lord wants us to lead this state. The Lord wants us to rise up. We're to pray for our political leaders, and we're to replace our political leaders. Those are the two things we're supposed to be doing. Pray and replace them. And God says, you're it. You are most equipped. You're the ones that have the mind of Christ. And so we unite together. This is our first day of uniting together to strike the ground in prayer and fasting. You know, fasting doesn't bend God's arm, it bends us. It makes us hear His voice clearer.